Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This time it is to go over my Terminator section right over here. So let's get to it. And this is my Terminator section plus one additional piece. Now I did do a video of this, probably about 4 weeks back, but YouTube did not like the background music that I had in that video, so I am re-recording this video, and plus I made a few mistakes in the first video, so hopefully I can correct that. So let's just dive right in. This first piece here, this is from Terminator 1, and it's known as the trucker bus Terminator. And they call it the trucker because in the end of the movie, the semi scene, they used a puppet. And if you pause that scene, I mean, it looks exactly like this. And not does it only look like this, the artist, who's Suckface Studios in the UK, also does a lot of Freddy stuff, among other things. He replicated all this blood work perfectly. And if you pause the movie and take a look, like, it looks exactly like it did in that scene. So it's actually really, really well done. And some may say, well, that doesn't 100% look like Arnold, but Terminator 1 was a lower budget film. So the puppets that they did use in the film weren't like 100% like you see in today's standards. So it's really, really nice. And then during that scene, there was a pipe bomb. So I made a kind of a replica of that. And then behind here, this actually came off a full-size Sideshow endo. I believe the guy had a earthquake or something. It came from California. So it fell off. It was broken in a few different areas. I kind of repaired it the best I could. And as you can see, it's missing a finger there, but I just kind of consider that battle damage. So actually, I think it looks pretty awesome. The next piece is the Sideshow endoskeleton bust. And this came from Terminator 1. And I believe the way you can tell it was from Terminator 1 is the size of the pupils. Notice how they're larger. And the red part's a little bit smaller in the T2. So it's a very cool bust. I definitely like having something this size over just having the head. I mean, the head's cool, trust me, but it is nice having a little body. And hopefully in the new place, I actually have a full one-to-one endoskeleton. It is definitely on my wish list. And then any Terminator fan from the original movie should recognize the hardballer. Very, very awesome piece. This is actually a real hardballer. Pretty hard to get these days. And the scope is kind of hard to find. There was an airsoft replica of this gun that had the scope in the gun, and they didn't make too many. I've actually only seen it go up for sale one time in 3 years or so, but I was able to get the scope. My only complaint is it's missing the front holes, which is odd. You can see those holes in the back. So I think it may have been a manufacturing thing or something that they just didn't, they had it backwards when they set it up. But it is cool, and if I can ever get even a better version, I'll upgrade then. So next, this actually came from Terminator 3. So if you remember in the movie, this became unstable, and he reached in and he tossed it out, and it caused like a little mini atomic explosion. But basically it was described as this is what powers the Terminator. So yeah, cool prop. It's nicely chromed. I do not know who the maker is. Next is the brain chip and the endoskeleton arm. Now, this brain chip and endoskeleton arm has been done many different times. I think Sideshow did a version. Hollywood Collectible Groups did a version. I believe Icons did a version too. But out of all the versions, I think this is the one that you really, really would want. And the main reason behind that is it actually moves. Let me just hit a button here. Yeah, so how cool is that? And it does a couple of different, let's see if I can find the other one here. That one just kind of moves the fingers even more. So it's got a nice plating on it. Looks really good. This was done by Blitzway. The brain chip also looks good. I don't have it lit up here, but it does have a light up also. Probably do a review on that sometime to go in a little more detail. Pretty cool piece though. And then these are the keys that when they were in the Cyberdyne building, Miles and John, to unlock the section to actually get to these pieces. These are also pretty well done. Next is the knife that you saw at the beginning of T2 that the biker in the pool hall on the pool table got stabbed in the back. It's nice. My only complaint is it says T2 on it, which in reality it wouldn't have said T2 on the real knife, so why put it on this knife? But they did. And then let's just go over this grenade launcher here. I think it's the M79, I believe. Now this is an airsoft replica, but it's a nice replica. It's wood, metal. I think it looks good up there. And then, big fans of Terminator would probably recognize this piece. This is the Queen Studios T2 Arnold Battle Damage Bus. Awesome, awesome piece. I'd have to say, as far as lightness, I've seen the T2 Battle Damage done a lot of different times, but this to me definitely looks the most like Arnold. Very well done. My only complaint is they should have chromed the endoskeleton part more, but it's a minor gripe. But yeah, just check that out. Very awesome. Now the bandolier and the grenades is something that I added later on, but I thought it kind of completed the look, even though he probably didn't have that many grenades at this stage of the movie. And then here I've got the Rose Box shotgun. I actually have the actual Rose Box too, but I just didn't have room to display it back there. It didn't look right. And then this next part here is in T2, after they broke Sarah out and they had to reprogram his chip so he can learn. This is kind of representing that part. So this part is like the inside of the head where the brain chip lives. And they pulled out the brain chip. And then if you remember, Sarah almost smashed it. So I actually paused the movie, took a good look at what that hammer looked like. And looked through many, many different hammers on eBay, but finally found one that looked very, very similar. And I think it kind of completes the look. So next, we have the T1000. Also by Queen Studios. Very, very awesome piece. In fact, I think I like the T1000 better than I like the T800 in the franchise, just as far as coolness factor. I just love the liquid metal. He just nailed the part. Just T1000 is very, very cool. And then there was another maker that Boy, I know I got this from overseas, but this is actual, you know, one big hunk of metal, done very well. Looks just like it did in the movie where it kind of broke off on the cop car. Then I like to kind of throw a little bit of pictures behind some of these. You'll notice that as I go through this. And then here is actual, kind of hard to see, but these were screen used from the T1000. So it's pretty cool to have this section and have a couple of screen used parts. Piece of metal and a bullet hole. Next is the Frozen T1000. This is also very, very cool. Now, there was a studio called Horror Sanctum that originally did a bust. I mean, it looked almost exactly like this, so he was the one who originally did it. In fact, I think he used like the real police helmet and uniform and all that. This one is a copy pretty much of this bust made by Court Masters, but really happy to have it in the collection. And he did a really good job of making it look frozen. I don't know if this camera is really picking up all the sparkliness, but in the right lighting, I mean, it definitely looks like it's frozen. Such an iconic scene. I just love that scene of the Frozen T1000. And then behind here, I've kind of got a picture of that scene. So towards the end of the movie, where Sarah Connor was one shot away, I researched and found pretty much the exact shotgun that they used in the movie. Now, there was like 3 different versions of this model. But the one that kind of matched the barrel that they used in the movie was this one. So I went ahead and got it, rigged something up on top. So yeah, kind of completes the look. And right now it's really the only Sarah Connor representation I have in here. I guess other than I do have that picture. All right, next is the Lewis bust. Very, very cool piece. I was hunting this for many, many years. Another private collector sold it to me, so I'm really happy he did that. I just really never see him come up. I mean, it was such a short scene in the movie, but, you know, still iconic, something I definitely remember. I do have to get a badge. It's missing a badge, and I found out there's badge collectors out there, so I've got a save search on eBay. Eventually one will pop up that should match it well, and that'll kind of complete it. But I did get the coffee cup, and as you remember, he was kind of looking on the bottom. I think he had a full house, and he was like, it's my lucky day. But it was not Lewis's lucky day. Next is the Spaz 12. Now this is an airsoft replica. That's another gun. I mean, I'd love to have the real one, but it goes for crazy money, like 4,000 bucks usually. So the airsoft replica is good enough. They also use this in Jurassic Park. I think a lot of video game series also use this. So, but that was used in Terminator 1 during the police shootout scene. Next is the T600. Now this is from Terminator Salvation, but they mentioned the T600 in the original Terminator movie, that they were kind of easier to spot. Really an underrated piece. I like it a lot. It's got a lot of detail. I think it looks awesome. And this is one of the pieces that I do see go for, you know, some nice prices on eBay. So anyone that wants to expand past T2, I would definitely recommend picking this one up. And this grenade was screen used in the Terminator Salvation movie. At least at a time, I did see a lot of those pop up on eBay. Not sure if they still do, but they must have made a ton of them because it didn't cost too much to get. Nice to add it to the collection. Next is the T700. This is also from Terminator Salvation. Now this one has a cool lighting effect as far as the eyes will slowly fade out, kind of like you saw in Terminator 1 when it finally got terminated. So yeah, look how it kind of faded out like that. That's an awesome effect. They also did that on their T800 bust. Next is the TX. Was the woman Terminator in T3. This is also a very cool bust. Like the lighting effect, kind of strobes there on the side, and that's what it did in the movie. I do see knockoff versions on this on eBay that look like they're really good. This is the actual sideshow version. But definitely recommend if you're a huge Terminator fan. And behind there is the Uzi. That's in Terminator 1 he was using in the Technor scene. And then if you recognize this, this is what John used to hack the ATM and also hack the locks at the Cyberdyne building. So it was an actual Atari portfolio that he used. And this actually has the program on it, does the countdown to like get the code for the ATM, just like you saw on the movie. And that back part someone made for me, because that wasn't an actual part for the Atari. They must have just made it as a prop in the scene. And then I just kind of a fake ATM thing. Actually, I think it was used at one time just to put the card in. And then my last piece is this excellent Infinity Studios Dark Fate Arnold. Very, very cool piece. Of course, it's got the endoskeleton arm. But it's amazing how real they can make these busts look these days. I mean, yeah, look, when you get in close, it looks like skin. You can see the veining work there, the actual battle damage, the eyes, hair, all real hand-punched hair, silicone, and actually silicone even feels real. It's creepy how real they can make things these days. So yeah, that is how my Terminator section stands today in 2024. Hey guys, I appreciate you watching another video. I'm a huge fan of home theater and these movie replica props. I'm going to put out a couple of videos each week in those areas. And if you're a huge fan like I am, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.